What's on Dre's mind? Wouldn't you like to know? Well, we are coming up on prime baking season. And while I don't need any help with that or motivation with that, you might need some. So I'm here to give you some. Baking is one of my passions. So I embrace this time of year wholeheartedly. I can't wait to get into the kitchen and roll up my sleeves and start baking. You're in luck because I'm going to bring you with me. Okay, it's about that time. I'm getting excited because I love to bake. So we're going to get started. I'm putting on the apron, getting myself together. I already have the ingredients set up so that they would come to room temperature, because I find that it's better to bake with your ingredients when they're at room temperature. And I didn't tell you what I was going to do. So I'm going to bake a luscious lemon sour cream pound cake. Doesn't that sound good? Sounds good to me. So I'm excited about that. Baking always makes me so excited. I like to bake when I'm happy. I like to bake when I'm sad. I like to bake when I'm frustrated. I like to bake when it's sunny. I like to bake when it's raining. The idea, right? I like to bake for any reason. I like to bake at any time, for any occasion. It's just very therapeutic for me. So I'm happy to bring you along with me today. So like I said, I have the ingredients all set up on the other side of the camera. I'm going to do this a little bit different today. I am going to film everything and do a voiceover. I want this to be as fast as possible. I'm not trying to like stretch this out. It's a pound cake. The time it doesn't take a lot of time to prepare. The time comes in the baking, because it might take me only 10 to 15 minutes to put everything together, but it's gonna take like an hour or so for it to bake in the oven. And it depends on the type of oven you have. The time that it will take for your cake to bake depends on your oven. I'm going to be baking with a convection oven, so it shortens the time, but I am excited. So let's flip this camera around and get started making this luscious lemon sour cream pound cake. All right, let's start with the dry ingredients first. 3 cups of all-purpose flour, which I prefer to sift my flour first, and I'm doing it in batches. Then I need 1 teaspoon of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of salt, and then thoroughly mix the dry ingredients together. As for the ingredients that I've allowed to come to room temperature, that's going to be 6 eggs, 2 sticks of butter, and 1 cup of sour cream. So for preparing this cake, I need the 2 sticks of butter, which equals 8 ounces, and 3 cups of sugar. I'm going to put these in my mixer so that I can incorporate those, and I'm going to do it in stages. I don't want to just put all the butter and all of the sugar into the mixer at once. I want to ensure that it's going to be well incorporated. So I'm going to put my butter in, turn my mixer on, add in 1 cup at a time. Add the sugar in 1 cup at a time. Scrape down my bowl in the middle, and then continue on adding the rest of the sugar. This way, the butter and the sugar will be nice and light and fluffy. And this process takes about 3 minutes. Here's a close-up angle so that you can see what the butter and sugar looks like after mixing for about 3 minutes. Now we're going to incorporate the eggs. Let's follow suit by doing the eggs one at a time. There are a total of 6 eggs. Don't rush this process. Once you add 1 egg, allow it to thoroughly get incorporated, then add the next egg. As you gradually add the eggs into the mixture one at a time, you're going to see a change in color and consistency. What this is showing you is that you're building a wonderful foundation for a delicious batter. As you've seen me do before, I like to scrape my bowl down in the middle of mixing just to make sure the batter is thoroughly incorporated. I do this in all my recipes and you'll see me do it in all my videos. This way I ensure that nothing is stuck on the sides, that everything is consistent. Now it's time to add the sour cream. This recipe calls for 8 ounces of sour cream, which is 1 cup. We're going to add that into the mixture and then move on to adding our extracts. Since this is a lemon cake, we're going to use vanilla extract and lemon. I know you wasn't expecting that vanilla, but yep, I added that as well. And then we're going to move on to the flour. Now it's time to add the flour. We need 3 cups of flour. And you know how I'm going to do this, right? I'm going to do this in batches. Don't dump all the flour in at once. We're going to do half and then scrape it down. As I said before, make sure everything is incorporated. So we don't want to have a lot of flour around the edge of your bowl. So I'll scrape it down, then allow my mixer to start up again and do the heavy lifting and continue on adding the rest of the flour so that the total of 3 cups will be well combined. And your batter should have a thick consistency. This is a pound cake, so it's going to be dense. You don't want this batter to be too loose. You want it to be on the thicker side. My Bundt pan has been prepared, and now I'm going to add the batter. When I pour my batter into my Bundt pan, I make sure that I go all the way around the Bundt pan to ensure that it's even. I want to keep this as level as possible. So I take my time, try not to get any on the edges. We don't want it to burn any of the cake mix on the edges of your Bundt pan. So try to get as much as you possibly can in the middle of the Bundt pan and do that evenly. Okay, I'm going to just tamp this down to make sure there are no air bubbles in there and to make sure it's pretty much level. And then it's time to put it in the oven. The cake just came out of the oven. Okay, the cake just came out of the oven. It was in there for 60 to 65 minutes at 325. And the next step will be for me to make the glaze. And I'm going to use fresh lemons and powdered sugar to make the glaze. This house smells so good right now. So I'll let the cake cool down. This is the beauty of using the two Bundt cake. It makes life so easy when you spray it down. And one of my secrets to help release the cake from the pan is to use the baker spray. It's not just an oil, it's an oil and a flour mixture. I'll include a picture in my recap. We're in the home stretch now. It's time to make the glaze. So I've gotten some comments about the proper usage for this tool. So I wanted to show you, when you slice your lemon or lime in half, you put it in flat side down inside of your lemon or lime press. I'm using the lime press today, but I still made it work. So you need the juice of 1 whole lemon and 1 cup of confectioner's sugar. Mix those together and it's going to make a delicious, sweet yet tangy glaze for your luscious lemon sour cream pound cake. From start to finish, this recipe will take you about an hour and a half, maybe an hour and 45 minutes, because you need to gather all of the ingredients. but it's so well worth it. I encourage you, roll up your sleeves, go into the kitchen, and give this a try. And I thank you so much for watching this episode of Baking with Drea.